I wonder. The three disciplines coming up. The women's Taiji-shan.
Pengenalan para juri.
Introduction of juries and judges.
And then we have the men's and women's Hang Xuan. Now three events for you this afternoon. So the judges will be introduced to the crowd.
China.
Ahli jawatan kuasa juri Wen Zhuohui, China.
Member of jury committee Wen Zhuohui, China.
Yong Tong Fong, Malaysia.
Yong Tong Fong, Malaysia.
Ketua referee Liu Zhigang, China.
Chief referee Liu Zhigang, China.
Timbalan ketua referee Dan Ching Fong, Malaysia.
Assistant chief referee Dan Ching Fong, Malaysia.
Ketua pengadil Chai Gang, China.
Head judge Cai Gang, China.
So here's the introduction of our judging panel. We had a few technical issues on the very first day with the marks being coming through, and athletes were having to wait an ordinary length of time to receive their marks, but that's been sorted out now, so hopefully not too long to wait once these performances are finished. It's difficult, of course, if there is a slight discrepancy, and things are very close. Judges in touch with each other, so we'll see how the marking goes this afternoon in this competition.
Judge number 4, Lee Quang Hui, Vietnam.
Pengadil nombor 5, Ng Chuan Yi, Malaysia.
Judge number 5.
Lots of different categories, of course, we've seen over 2 days. If you're a wushu fan,
Thailand.
Viewed with some curiosity by some, Kayla and East Richards
2589天，是我和他之间的距离。
you saw a moment ago and you're shocked.
2589天，是我和他之间的距离。 2589天，是我和他之间的距离。
Vietnam has dipped below 11.5 over this distance. She'll be wanting to improve. There is Vietnam, we saw a moment ago before Siti Fatima bin Mohammed of Malaysia. An opportunity to improve times, but certainly the first ambition for every one of these women who line up is to qualify for the evening's final. It'll be the penultimate event on the calendar. And the programme, the schedule. In terms of the sprint events. Well, pretty good start for Malaysia's Siti Fatima, and indeed Le Tun Tin just pulling away from the remainder of the field. It's a bit of a chase for the remainder. Battle for third, but it's easily going to be Le. 11.49. Well, it goes below 11.5. It's not her personal best, but it's the time she's well capable of running, just ahead of the Malaysian Siti Fatima bin Mohammed. A very good time for her. The remainder of the field just trailing in her wake. So Vietnam, some early signs. She'll be challenging for a medal. She'll have some competition, certainly from the likes of Veronica Shanti Pereira and Tasapon Manakit going in the second heat. But it's a good fine run. Not the best of starts, but she can work on the start. She's got the speed out on the track, particularly after the 40-metre mark, and just pulled away from the competition. Good little battle going on for third as well between Nelson and Tipat of Philippines and Thailand. In the end, it's a very confident victory, and so comfortable looking as well. Really didn't put anything in it, just very relaxed. Malaysian runner Siti Fatima bin Mohammed, you can just see that she's straining to try to keep up with her opponent, who looked ridiculously relaxed in crossing the finish line, almost a stroll over, and still dips below 11.5. So good win for Le Tun Chin of Vietnam. This has certainly laid down the marker for the athletes going in the second semi-final. Confirmation then, it is Tipat who claims third, just ahead of Nelson after a very convincing run by Le Tun Chin of Vietnam. Wendy Yen only good enough for 12.18 and 12.86. It's better as a qualifying time of 13.11 for Duong of Cambodia. Roaring approval from the local fans for Husnia Zulkifli. That's Veronica Shanti-Pereira of Singapore. She'll be one to watch undoubtedly for the title. Veronica Shanti-Pereira and Tasapon Manakit will be arguably the two favourites for the win in this second heat, and indeed will be challenging the likes of Vietnam for the gold medal.
Sedang hadirin tuan-tuan, sebentar lagi kita akan saksikan satu lagi acara balapan yaitu 100 meter wanita.
The team Mong Thuyen of Vietnam going in lane 6. The athletes will be introduced shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the front line you'll be witnessing the next rugby.
So confirmation of the start list then. Athletes representing Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore and Laos will do battle. It's Tasapon Wanakit and Veronica Shanti-Pereira of Singapore, the athletes you will want to keep your eye on for this particular heat. Pape of Laos going in lane 8. There's Veronica Shanti-Pereira. Going in lane 3, Tasapon Manakit, among the quickest of the sprinters in this heat. Silver medalist from 2015. Husnia Zulkifli, representing Malaysia, will go in lane 4. Now she's already run sub 11.5 this season. Thi Mong Thuyen of Vietnam goes in lane 6 because there is a DNS from Kaylin East Richardson of the Philippines who will be focusing on the 200 metre. Veronica Shanti-Pereira of Singapore goes in lane 7. From Laos, Selina Pape. So far in the season, it's Malaysia's Zulkifli who goes in 4, who's posted the quickest time. Tasapon Wanakit of Thailand, she's quick. So too Veronica Shanti-Pereira. Both Wanakit and Pereira medalists from the 2015 Games. Defending champion withdrew. Well, it's a very good start going in lane 4 for Zulkifli, and a great start as well for the Vietnamese sprinter Le Thi Mong Thuyen. And it looks to be Pereira coming back strongly. She's going to hold on here for the win in this heat. Just slowing down at the end was Zulkifli, but in the end, strong run on the back end for Veronica Shanti-Pereira. Finishes second. Tasapon Wanakit just completely out of it, nowhere near her best. So she's just wanting to post a time quick enough to make the final, which she should have done with relative ease. And that's a fine run from Husnia Zulkifli. So Malaysia, the medal prospect in the women's 100-meter final. It'll be run around 9:30 local time tonight. Monica Shanti-Pereira very strong on the back end after Tim Mong Chuen took off. Great start for the Vietnamese sprinter going in 6. Just unable to hold on over the 100-meter. Look at that comeback. Great long stride. Very relaxed as well. And Tasabon Manakit posting a quick enough time, I would suggest, to advance to the final without much difficulty, but certainly looking nowhere like Tasabon Manakit that we are used to seeing. Will be challenging for the medals. Not a very easy run for the Thai sprinter, but it's Malaysia who has the win in the second heat of the women's 100-meter semi-finals. Enormous media contingents gathered for the Southeast Asia Games. Confirmation of the results from the second semi-final, not as quick as the first. Husnia Zulkifli of Malaysia with the win over Monica Shanti-Pereira of Singapore. Tim Mong Chuen of Vietnam, third quickest. 11.89 should be enough for Tasapon Manakit to advance to the evening final. And she does so by the skin of her teeth, so to speak. So 2 Vietnamese athletes, 2 Thai athletes, 2 Malaysian athletes, and 1 sprinter from Singapore and 1 from the Philippines will do battle for gold, silver and bronze at 9:30 local time. Well, while our attention has been focused on the track, there's still plenty of field events to be contested over the 5 days here at the athletics venue, the National Stadium, Bukit Jalil. There's only 3 athletes that are competing. There was a withdrawal as early as yesterday.
Atlet Guat Lien Ang
Brunei. Final score 9.15.
9.15. And just mark down a little on the degree of difficulty and on the quality of movement. That puts her into second place, still 9.42 the score to beat. Next we have Ho Lin Ling, 18 years of age from Singapore. Very promising athlete indeed. Let's see what she can do here. And first in the compulsory third, Tai Shi Xuan in the Hong Kong Wushu International Championships. Ho Lin Ling, has she done enough to take the lead here? 9.42. Vera Tan Yan Ning, our first competitor with a high score so far, as we reach the halfway point of this women's competition.
Athlete Lin Ying Ho, Singapore. Final score 9.44.
9.44 is indeed good enough to put her into gold medal position. 0.2 of a mark Full 2 marks for the degree of difficulty. First contestant that's got that. Cindy Martano from Indonesia is up next.
The hurdles final was the subject of a protest by the Philippines National Olympic Committee, who were less than happy with the schedule that was presented. Ultimately, though, their appeal was rejected by the local organising committee. So Harry Cray will run 4 races on day 1 if he is to try to claim gold in both the men's 100-metre and the men's 400-metre hurdles, as he did 2 years ago in Singapore. The athletes just waiting patiently for the start time, and then the announcer to introduce them. Nandawat Davlao goes in lane 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, lane 1, competitor 185, K. Nandawat, representing Laos.
Darussalam's Siafia Mohammed goes in lane 3 from Singapore. Calvin Kang, another familiar name and very likeable individual, always smiling. Eric Cray, he's a bit of a showman. Eric Sean Cray, to give him his full name, goes in lane 5. Gold medalist from 2015. Going in lane 6, Kritsara Namsuon of Thailand. He's got a 10.36 this season, so he'll be confident of not only making the final, but indeed challenging for the medals come final time. Yaspi Bobi, he's been on the podium, silver medalist in 2015 behind Cray. He goes in 7. Jonathan Nyepo of Malaysia goes in lane 8, and being warmly welcomed by the partisan crowd that sit in the grandstand here at the National Stadium. And going in lane 9 from Cambodia, Net Yarat of Cambodia. Hasn't registered an official time over 100 meters this season. Semi-final number 1. The men's 100-meter gets underway. Very good start from Siafia Mohammed of Malaysia, but he's being left behind. It's great from Eric Cray once he got into his stride. Now just looking around, it's nothing more than a stroll. It's a good push in the end from the Malaysian. Yeah, but to come through for second place behind Cray, and then Calvin Kang and Namsuon of Thailand look to be up with Yaspi Bobi, challenging for that third place finish. It's about posting quickest times and advancing to the evening final. But Eric Cray, clearly the fastest in the field, controlled that race from start to finish, and certainly not pushing very hard, because he knows he's got to conserve as much energy as possible if he is to try to do the double on day 1 of the track and field competition. Athletics having already begun on the opening day of the competition with the 2 marathons, of course. So comfortable from Cray. did just what he needed to do. Such a refined athlete. And it looks like that Namsuon actually just got inside Kang and Bobby of Singapore and Indonesia for the third place. But if you're finishing only in the top 5, you've got to be fairly confident of your time. Because it's the quickest times that advance to the final, not the finishing places in the semi-finals. But Cray quietly confident after a confident performance in this opening heat, and a smile for the cameraman. Bit of a showman, but well worth the money to watch him. Confirmation then. In Malaysia, they like the sound of Nyepa finishing third. It was Namsuon who tucked into that third place, just ahead of Bobby and Kang. But look at that, 2/100ths of a second separate 3 to 5, which gives you an indication of just how close they were. It suggests Calvin Kang will be nervously and anxiously waiting the outcome of the second semi-final. He'll be hoping it's a slower one. Confirmation then of the start list for the second semi-final of the men's 100 metre. Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Brunei and Singapore, the countries represented by athletes that are trying to post times quickly enough to be one of the finalists, one of the 8 finalists for the 100 metre sprint final, which will be completed at 20 to 10 local time. Day 3 of the athletics, day 1 of track and field.